Today we're going to take a look at doing reinforcement for the student's project. The student has started to model their building and model their structure. One of the first things I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a section box and cut down through the building a little bit. I'm going to just go just above the main floor there. Bring this down in. I'm actually going to lower the bottom just a bit, just in case our foundations go a bit deeper. So that's generally a pretty good idea of what we want to see here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all the walls. So hide all the windows. Hide all the stairs, doors. So there we have our slab, and we have our columns. So there's a number of different ways we could design this the structural system here, and we'll show you a couple today. The first design I'm going to show you is thickened slab edge. Which Revit, I believe, calls a slab edge. So we have a thickened slab edge in here right now. We want to click the bottom of these lines, and it adds the slab edge in there. So if you want these to connect, we just want to know what this material of this floor is. So I'm just going to edit type, and it is cast in place gray. So we're just going to change this material to cast in place gray. And it's the same material, and I believe we can join these as well. There we go. So it looks like one unified piece now. Just going to hide this section box. You don't want to delete it, because if you delete the section box, it will it'll actually remove the cutting of the section box. So now that we have this, let's see what sections are set up in here. Section's a little bit distracting. So we're going to do the same thing as basically 3D view, but I'm going to duplicate this one before. I guess we actually don't have to duplicate it. We could just do I'm going to turn this view to hidden line. We're just going to do a call out of this area. I'm going to turn off shadows. I'm going to make the scale 1 inch equals 1 foot. I'm going to really zoom in on that area. And I'm going to click the bottom footing, and then we're going to click the rebar button. Let's load some rebar hooks in. And go to structural rebar shapes. And we're actually, instead of using this rebar shape, we can bring in a lot of different rebar shapes, but we're going to actually sketch our rebar shape. And I'm going to click there. We want it to be current work plane, we want it to be perpendicular to cover. There we go. So we're going to do a piece of rebar that follows this path here. maybe 2, and at the top here, we're going to want it to be from this line to here. We're going to want it to be 3 feet. And I'm just going to click the check mark there for a second. Just going to bring this out here. So that's fine. And then we're going to want to make this rebar a maximum spacing. We're going to want to make this, let's just say, this will do, we'll just 24-inch centers. And we're going to go back to our 3D view here. And we're going to click both these parts of the slab, and we're going to go override by category. I'm going to make it 80% transparent. I'm going to change this to hidden line view. By category. Looks like you can't really make the slab edge. We need to do this one by element. There we go. So we have that. So I'm just going to click this and I'm going to mirror this. And go to maybe a plan. Mirror this over. Let's set up a structural plan. We'll go to structural plans, hold control and select both of those. We have this in here. We're going to want to make this for I'm going to hide walls. I want to override by category, and I want to turn off that concrete hatch, and we're just going to make it a solid fill. Actually, we don't want that cut pattern, we want it to be a surface pattern, so let's make this white. And then I'm just going to hold tab and grab this element, and we're going to override by element, make this material solid fill white as well. Bring the transparency up to 80%. And hide in category doors, hide stairs, hide rings. So now we can see our rebar here. I'm just going to mirror this rebar to the other side, and we'll pull it back just a bit. Pull back that just a bit there. We'll just mirror this rebar around this corner here. Like so. And I'm gonna mirror it down over here. And I'm gonna pick new host. This one we might have to do manually, so I'm just going to click this elevation. So this is the one that's on an angle. And let's go back to the 3D view so we can see that. And we'll make it maximum spacing, 24 inches. That's interesting. It doesn't want to follow that angle. Let me see if I can rotate this. Here we go. So that's the start of the reinforcing. So in plan, so there's a couple other things we want to do. We want to do an area reinforcing. So we'll load. Oh no. Just click one here. And bring it in line. So there we go, we have area reinforcing. So area reinforcing is basically creates a grid. These grids usually come in a mesh, like in sheets, sorry, and then you just place the area reinforcing within there. I don't know why there's two grids in there, but anyways, that's kind of the idea of area reinforcing, and then these kind of stirrups on the end join it all together. And the last thing we want to do for this area is, oh, there's top and bottom, that's why. Interesting. Yeah, so really we only need it at the bottom, I guess, for a floating slab like this. I guess the last part we need rebar for is we're going to do it perpendicular. sure exactly what's going on here, but should be able to place a couple bars similar to that. I'm going to take a quick look into figuring that out. So I figured out what was going on. I just over here in the shape, I just needed to change the shape to shape 2. And you want it to be perpendicular to cover like I had it. We'll just go with the number 3. We're just going to place 2 bars down the bottom here. And place one at the top. We could probably place one in the middle, I guess, as well. And we go to look at it in 3D. We have these bars right there, and you'd want to do them for the rest of the sides going around. So that's how to do a floating slab style reinforcement system. The other thing I actually figured out with the area reinforcing, let's go back to my call out here. So for the area reinforcing, we want it to be turn off top, turn off minor. We want to be bottom spacing. It could be 1 foot. Major spacing 1 foot, and actually we want to add bottom cover as 1 inch. So that raises it up a little bit. There we go. We have our area grid in there. So that's how you do a floating slab. Floating slab wouldn't necessarily be sufficient for a building like this, or at least the edges would have to be thicker, and then I guess in the middle where you have these columns you'd want to do a pad footing there. I'm going to do another video showing how to do a frost wall style foundation with caissons, and so in that video we'll go over how to do the footings for that type of foundation.